It's been evaluated, has amazing results and outcomes working with young people. So PCYC has different sources of program funding from different areas, and yeah, today was a really great announcement of long-term funding for them for that program.
I would like to my ignorance, but maybe for some people out there, could you just tell what
I don't know exactly the acronym. Police, community, youth, citizen. Yes, thank you. Yeah. So it's a police. Well, it started off as a.
I think it's started off as it's the Police and Citizens Youth Club, as was explained. Yeah, it's obviously the main location for the PCYC is at Fairbairn near the airport, and they've got a facility there where they run a number of programs to support youth in our community. They do an amazing job with the people who work there and the youth that they do the work with. It's absolutely fantastic. Yeah.
Do you want a question? Is it all right? I will gloss you off. Sorry. Yeah. So. Hang on. Yes.
Yeah, I moved to Gungahlin in 2021, and when I came here, it was just such a beautiful place. And I'd been through a really hard time, come out of a long number of years of domestic violence. A very peaceful, lovely area. And the police were very responsive, very understanding. Well, that's all changed. I'm sorry, no offence, because you just haven't got enough people. But now I'm seeing what happened at Dixon when I've gone through the system to finally get housed over the years. I'm seeing these people coming out here. Nothing's getting done. This lady's been spat on because she refused a cigarette. I've been threatened, and so many numerous things. There's a predator down there that's been at it for since I've been here. Nothing gets done. I went down with 26 pictures. The officer was great. He did his body cam and took the pictures, and they said they'd go talk to him. Nothing happened. Yeah. And he's still doing the same thing. I did everything I was told, reported it to centre management. He's known. And they just seem to congregate. They know when you guys aren't around. They monitor you. I know a few of them from being through the system, unfortunately. And they know when you guys aren't around. Oh, well, we'll go get up to mischief now because the cops are at lunch now. The cops are busy with this going on, we need more cops on the beat.
They're sneaking up behind us. There's predatory
It's getting scary.
down here, and they're preying on your wives, your sisters and your children, your girls. And we are going down there to keep an eye on the kids in the afternoons when they're getting out of school. Now, I've seen kids saying things like, he asked me what I do for fun after school. I know who it is, and I go down there and he's there. And I've reported it to the police, but I got kind of flipped off. And I know that somebody working at the marketplace has been filmed. It became important when their worker reported something. But the rest of us are out there. I've got to leave here, walk to the bus station, and then get my bus home. It's dark. And I've got to know that by 9:25 and 10:25, someone's watching my back. Who is it?
All the businesses are aware of this fella. All the shops are aware. Centre management have labelled him habitual, and yet nothing gets done. And he's gone from women our age and other ages now to the young lasses at school. And he's waiting up there at the bus stop at 2:30 for the young lasses. It's just getting out. And what about the ones sprawled outside the front of the shops there off their guts? Yeah. Abuse you when you go to walk past if you say no to giving them $1. They're looking at my jewellery, talking about robbing me and stuff.
Yeah.
Like there needs to be more police seen downtown. As I said, I'm not saying you guys can perform a miracle. Yeah. And thanks for when you do help.
On Friday night, it would be nice to know that we could get from this club to the bus stop without having to be harassed for whatever, our spare change and that. We just need officers.
And it's the same ones.
Or people around.
And you don't send them away. You just walk past them. You don't send them away, and they know. That's why they're coming from the city too, because they know they can get away with it here. I'm sorry to say it's the truth.
No. I think this is the issue.
And it's getting really scary. I mean, I'm really triggered by it because
when
I left,
they're going to follow our buses home.
Yeah, when I left DV, I became a victim of crime. So this is extremely triggering for me. And I've spoke to other people. Like this lady got abused outside that chicken halali shop and threatened, and it was racial. And I took my camera out because I felt, and she had 2 little kids with her, and
Yeah.
then he started on me.
Yeah.
Like, this is what it's getting like now.
Yeah.
There needs to be more cameras, at least, if they can't get more of you fellas here to help. Yeah, just be on the beat and be seen.
Yeah.
Because that's what gets rid of them. As soon as they see a uniform, they're gone. It's like, oh, there's an officer, let's go type thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's where.
Thank you very much.
Listen, thank you, and I don't know whether happy to talk after to get particulars of the reports you've already made. Maybe Nigel could pick that up as the OSC of the station. But I think also that's what we're talking about before with this working group, because some of the issues will be policing, some of the issues are what the other agencies potentially can do to assist. Some of the work that Anthony's leading in some of those other locations is also in terms of just some of the environmental circumstances. So, for example, where you're talking about some areas being dark, can we actually do some work with planning to put extra lighting in, change some of the circumstances in terms of the environment?
Volume of officers. I mean, like, there was another incident. This young one's got attacked in the community as a work.
Yeah,
Just peaceful in the lane predator. They're all coming here.
Yeah.
It's easy, but they're thinking,
Yeah.
I'll go out the area where nobody recognises me. And there were so many numerous complaints. He got banned from all the alcohol shops, from so many businesses, and
Yeah.
people just kept complaining. He was making trouble behind communities at work anywhere he could around town. And nothing got done, and a young lass that was a worker ended up getting attacked.
Yeah.
And this is what happens. And this particular officer said to me, like, it really upset me, but he was being blatantly honest. He said, we really can't do nothing until he actually hurt somebody. And I thought, no, that's not good enough. And the professionals that I've spoken to over the years to get my help said that is far from good enough.
okay.
Yeah.
But we can work through the details with you, and then some of the issues you've raised are exactly what we can work through with the community here in terms of how we can, both from our perspective, but also what other parts of government can we bring to bear to work with the community here to improve some of those situations for you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Just to close the conversation, I just want to see, like, I know you're going to work with us on some of the aspects. So can you also see, what are the kind of the root cause for all these issues, right? So we need to look into the root cause rather than just cut the branches because it's going to keep growing. So I think the root cause could be, family issues or broken family or drug usage, and or the people doesn't have enough, job opportunities, or it could be, they don't know where to spend their energy with the young people, So all these matters, right? So we need to get into the bottom of the root cause and then provide those facilities in Gungahlin.
Yeah.
And as you know, Gungahlin is one of the fastest growing region in Australia. So we need those facilities and those working group and those people involved. And I think we need to work on those things as we are, so that nothing will, you prevent some of those things and then you can mitigate those ongoing crimes. So it'd be good to consider that.
Anthony, did you want to talk about some of the work, some of the stuff you're already doing? I might pass to Anthony if that's okay, because Anthony can probably give a bit more detailed examples of the types of things we are considering in the other location.
Yeah, so we meet with, as Deputy said, community representatives like yourself, business owners and business representatives, and representatives from ACT government, and they look at those exact things. Where it started off in the evolution, and it wasn't me that started, it was my predecessor, but we've carried it on in saying we've got these issues, and which is exactly what you're talking about, someone who's causing problem, or maybe a homeless person that's asking for money and may have other issues such as alcohol or drug problems. But then there are sort of, but there's criminal aspects to this as well, which is, your retail theft, your antisocial behaviour, your assaults and those things. And that's definitely something the police need to target and disrupt and prosecute where we can. And that very simply could just be more uniform patrols, and we try to do that. But then other things such as the homelessness, all the environmental things, then we can look at that as a group and say, well, what can we do to support this person that needs the help? What can we give them that's going to help them with their drugs, or put them in a home or something like that. And it's been very successful in sort of sharing that burden and getting people the help that they need and getting them out of the public's sort of space and getting them into some help. And then the government departments and the lobby groups and the sort of residents groups have also looked at things like we talked about, the street lights and the coverage from the security cameras, and lobbying the government for those sorts of things. And we, through both the ACT government and through federal grants, and trying to get the funding to increase those facilities and open those up. And, we can see that what we've done, or what has been done in the city. In the city at the moment, there's a lot of work going on for the light rail and other things, and then there's been a focus on sort of the university precinct, and now people starting to look at, well, what do we need to do on the other side of the city. Same with Dixon. There's, shops have sort of moved from one side to the other, so we need to work on opening up the other side and getting the lights right and things like that. So, excuse me, yeah, that's exactly what we're working on with developers who own the businesses, own the buildings, and what they can do to try and increase security, increase the lighting, increase the footfall, which we talked about with the TAFE in Woden, getting the people through. And I think that's another thing that we can look at here in Gungahlin is, where is the traffic going, where is the foot traffic going, and trying to encourage more security in numbers, if that makes sense, or making people feel safe. So absolutely, what we'd like to do is replicate that working group here in Gungahlin and also in Belconnen, and take on board the concerns, and then work with all of you and the agencies that we have to try and work together to improve the safety or the security, or even just how people feel in the public place, whether or not there is actually crime there or not.
It'd be perfect to have those some kind of things that you talked about, programs that you run in city and Woden. So we need to find out, like, what's your proposal for the next 6 months? When are those programs and stuff? Then it might probably mitigate some of those issues as well.
And look, sorry, just one more example, because we talked very much about the youth crime and the youth things here. It's been a big focus in the city, and we have a group called the Street University, who put kids in programs and encourage kids to use their artistic flair and things other than graffiti and stuff like that. And some of the other groups that are involved, so clubs and things like that, are happy to provide funding and support and resources and even locations for that to sort of carry on. So it's a really good way to get everyone working together. And I know we've spoken here about the youth crime and providing more facilities and more entertainment for children and young people here that gets them out from congregating in front of certain shops and things. So
Perfect.
absolutely, yeah.
Right. Thank you so much.
Take that offline,
Thank you so much for coming down. So it's really very helpful to have you, and then it's also probably you also can hear from the public directly about some of those issues. And I'm also thinking, like, if as part of the government, you can also try to bring those chaplaincy programs at school, that good additional support, which is basically federal funding. It's nothing to do with the ACT government funding. So we should bring those programs back in ACT that would support the police and in terms of youth crimes and stuff. So we could also use that, leverage that. So thank you so much, Minister, and the police team officers, and thank you for coming down. It's really great to have you tonight, and we really appreciate that. And as part of the next agenda, so I'm just going to quickly go through this, the survey that we are doing, which we walked through last time, but I want to quickly do it before we close the survey. We are planning to close the survey in early August. So I'll bring to those slides. So we are doing this survey, which we did a few years back previously. So now we are doing it again. So basically, some of the questions we have to repeat, which means whatever the issues we had previously, it's still kind of ongoing, which is kind of a bit sad, but we had to have those ones. And we also, any of those questions, we had a question, option called prefer not to answer, so the people can skip and go on to the next question if they don't like to answer. If you're maximum it takes 9 minutes, but minimum it can be 4 minutes if you're really going through very quickly. So it's also compatible in all your devices. So that's the overview. I'll go to the next one. So the questions, the first, that we are collecting the demographic, the region, like age group, and then the suburbs you live. That's the articulate, what kind of feedback we are getting from different sector. And the next set is about the commercial amenities in Gungahlin. So if you look at this question, what additional commercial outlets and amenities would you like to see in town centre? So where you can come and choose those things. As you know, like some of those facilities are not in Gungahlin at the moment. We don't have Office Works, we don't have, like JB Hi-Fi or those kind of things. So we got a list of things so you can do that. And then also if you think something is not missing, you can add them as well. So that's one of the questions. Let's go to the next one, please. And this one is about the recreational facilities. We are talking about like a lot of facilities for youth and the family and all those things. So it includes like indoor sports center, outdoor swimming places, walks with features, more cycle paths. So whatever the activities that you want to do. So we want to just make sure that what matters to you. So you can pick top 3 or you can answer more on that. And then the other thing, on the previous one, so the community facilities as well. So what kind of community facilities would you like to see? What kind of, if you want to like a festival kind of thing, like a mini Floria here, or maybe theatre kind of things, or street art. So we want to collect those information as well so that it would help us to make a very informed decisions. So this one, would you like to see a permanent location for the community markets of fresh food offering, or is it like a outdoor space, or maybe an indoor space? So those kind of things. So it's got a variety to all the age group, and we are trying to gather that information. And then the next one, it says, would you use an event space in Gungahlin? And if so, what event would you hold? This is for people in the community who wants to bring some kind of community together to do some events. Like Gungahlin, as you know, it's a very multicultural, diverse community. It could be carols or any of the community events, and so we want to capture those information as well, what kind of events or how many people they are looking in those events for. Next one, please. And this one, do you use the Gungahlin library, and how frequently, or you have any further comments and stuff? So this covers the library element as well. And then the 10th question is a very key thing for Gungahlin. As you all know, the cinemas for Gungahlin. When are we going to get the cinemas in Gungahlin? Because it's been more than a decade since we had the announcement about cinemas in Gungahlin. So are you concerned that ongoing delays in building cinemas in Gungahlin are negatively impacting the community and the local economy? Because we don't have much of infrastructure in terms of employment opportunities in Gungahlin. In the morning, you've seen like an exodus that happens, and then in the evening, everyone comes back. We are like a birds that will fly away and then comes back. So, so that's one of the key things. So this could promote the local economy as well. So we have the questions regarding the cinemas as well. If you're watching, and then if you're really keen about getting the cinemas done, so it's a great opportunity to record your voice. So the next one is please select your 3 environmental priorities. For example, how you want to compositing collection service, electric car charging stations, or increased tree, nature areas, and those kind of things. So, and then we also given other options. So if you can think, if you're going to go creative and then come with some kind of other options, we can also get that. And at the moment, it's not showing. There's the rating question. How would you rate green space in Gungahlin and surroundings? It's like a star rating kind of a question. So you can pick up whether it's a 5-star rating or 3-star or 2-star on this one. Do you have any comments about the green space in Gungahlin? So if you want to add additional comments, you can do it. Not all the questions are mandatory. So only key questions are mandatory. So if people need to skip or they don't have any comments, they can also skip some of the non-mandatory questions. So the next one is a very key thing, because this is the infrastructure relates to Gungahlin, and it would probably reduce some traffic issues that's happening every day in Gungahlin. So the top 3 priorities of roads in Gungahlin. For example, we're given a couple of things and then said Barton Highway flyover. How many of you remember those big roundabout with the lights? And that's been one of the top 5 accident zone in Gungahlin, not just in Gungahlin, in ACT. So, a way to bypass the roundabout with the traffic lights, that would be an ideal solution there. So we have included that, and then duplication of Gundaroo Drive, Osbuck Drive, Gungahlin Drive, all this Mirabee Drive. So most of our roads needs to be duplicated. So that's the main thing on this essence of this question. Next one, please. What needs to be the focus of parking in Gungahlin Town Centre? So this is about the parking, whether do you like underground or multi-story parks, what kind of parking you want to be in the town centre. And then for the people with the electric cars, do you want to, where do you charge? Would you like to charge, at the shopping centre or public fast charger, or do we need to increase those facilities? So we have that question as well. If you work, where is your usual work location? So basically just to help us to capture where our exodus happens, whether they go to the north side or the south, or where is the job opportunity. So that would help us to do that. And the mode of transport as well, the other question, how they are doing the transport. So it looks like mostly, seems to be everyone taking the car because they have to obviously go to different spots. So there are different options how you do that. And the next one, please. And how do you, would you rate travel options in Gungahlin overall? So we have the rating as well. So whether it's poor, satisfactory, or excellent. And then you can see the cycling part. If you're a cyclist, you can also do this as well. And this is one of the very important question and very critical question as well. Would you support a trial rapid bus? The trial rapid bus was promised by Megan Fitzharris when she was a minister, that she want to do a trial bus from Gungahlin to the other major employment hubs, such as Warden or Tuggeranong or to the Brindabilla Park. But it was in the paper, but it never been implemented. So we want to see at least, you need to do some kind of a, trial to see whether this is feasible. So we were asking that question to make sure that we just want to resurrect the ideas that been floated a couple of years back to bring those rapid buses, like a trial one at least to start with. So that's the question for this one. And next one, please. And this is another question that it's a very key thing. Health or safety concerns do you want to see addressed in your suburbs? That just like some of the things we would have discussed tonight. Burglary of commercial space, or car theft, or graffiti, or traffic, or visibility of police. And those kind of things we covered. And then the healthcare options in Gungahlin. Is it sufficient for the growing population? As you know, we are nearing 100,000 people in Gungahlin, and one of the fastest growing region in Australia. So we have the question to cover to see whether the health infrastructure we have currently, is it sufficient to manage the current growing population. And this one question is all about the town centre and the night activities. So do you visit the Gungahlin town centre at night? What time do you visit? Or is it, do you feel safe? Or is it enough retail options? So we're trying to calculate, consider those things as well. And what kind of facilities you are looking at the night? Is it like a restaurant, or maybe a multi-purpose retail stores, or maybe a live music venue? So what kind of things that people are looking in the night time? And then this is an important question as well. Which of these recently completed ACT government plans and studies or reports have you heard about? So these are the things recently completed by ACT government. How many of the public remember or have ever heard about it? For example, Gungahlin Community Facility Studies, Gungahlin Town Centre Active Travel, Gungahlin Transport Plan, Gungahlin Town Centre Intersection Studies, Gungahlin Town Centre East Master Plan. So this one, we want to capture whether the public are aware of these things that's been published, that's been done by the government, or is this studies being made effectively shared with the public? So we want to see whether the community is aware of these things. And then number 27, do you think the ACT government should adopt more targeted strategy to attract commercial business to Gungahlin? This to help our commercial elements so that we can increase our business opportunities in Gungahlin. So that means more job opportunities in Gungahlin. And then would you support a more community consultation for major infrastructure projects? Some of the things that we hear from the community is like they're not aware of some of the projects, so we just want to see whether is it the same opinion for everyone or it's only few people, so we want to see that as well. So that's the pretty much end of the survey. So if you have your smartphones, you can just, if you scan this QR code, it takes you to the link, and please share with your friends and families because I think this is a very critical data that we could probably help, send a message to the government as well and to your local MLAs in terms of what we need as a community. So that's the link. So we have. It's not maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks old. We already have more than 300 people already participated in this survey. So it is kind of a very good. It's moving really fast, so which is really great. So we would encourage everyone to be part of this survey, which every data matters. So please take some time to participate in the survey, and then also share with your friends and families, and if you're in social media, please share it around as well. And that's all I want to talk about. And when we come next month, there's no meeting for July, so please remember, so there's no public meeting for July. Usually, traditionally, we don't have any meetings because I think it happens to be a state of origin on the day and no one turns up anyway, so we might as well stay home, and it's also very cold in Canberra during that time. So no public meeting on July. So we will come back in August. We want to aim to finalize our survey in the first week of August. So hopefully I can come and give you the outcome of our survey. Mm-hmm. So we are targeting at least 1,000 signatures or survey, participants submissions. So it would be great if you all be part of this survey, and we can make our voice count. And that concludes our tonight's meeting. So thank you so much for coming down, and thank you so much for our speakers tonight. Thank you, Minister. Thank you, police officers. So we really appreciate your time. So thank you so much for coming down. Thank you, and thank you for joining us online as well. Have a good night. God bless. Stay blessed.